Working hard or hardly working? Today on Fortitude Through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. It's kind of an oxymoron coming from a workaholic. Working hard or hardly working? The quote today by Epictetus: I can't call a person a hard worker just because I hear they read and write, even if working at it all night. Until I know what a person is working for, I can't deem them industrious. I can if the end they work for is their own ruling principle, having it be and remain in a constant harmony with nature. What is Epictetus saying here? Ryan Holiday from the Daily Stoic continues, what are the chances that the busiest person you know is actually the most productive? We tend to associate busyness with goodness and believe that many hours spent at work should be rewarded. Instead, Ryan asks or suggests, evaluate what you are doing, why you are doing it, and where accomplishing it will take you. If you don't have a good answer, then stop. So there's a couple things here that I'm gonna jump into. And I'm gonna make a couple references. Busy and productive are two completely different things. Now, I'm a big student of time. And I can tell you that through 20 plus years of studying time, I can tell you that time management is impossible. Yeah, time management's impossible. Show me one person that can manage time. Show me one person that can stop time, get more time, advance time, slow time, manipulate time. No, we can't manage time, but what we can do is manage the tasks that we do in the time that we have. Task management is possible, time management is not possible. So, let's just all agree that we have the same clock, the 24-hour clock. The billionaire and the bum, they got the same clock. It just depends on how they use that time. You can be busy all day and get absolutely nothing accomplished. It's true. It's how you spend your time. So let's start there. First, and this is a teaching lesson today. We're a little bit off of Stoicism. We're more into what I found it works. The book, Stephen Covey is the author. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Don't quote me, I believe it's chapter 6 or 7, but it's the chapter on sharpening the saw. Stephen Covey talks about the quadrants, where you spend your time. Urgent, not important, important, urgent, all these different variations. So I remember them by quadrants. So basically quadrant 2 is planning, preparation, and relationship building. It is important, but it is not urgent. It is not a fire. However, the more time you spend in quadrant 2, the less time you spend in other quadrants. For example, quadrant 1 is putting out fires. We all know that, right? Quadrant 4 is where a lot of people spend their time. That is the not important, not urgent. Scrolling, TikTok, watching television. Now, quadrant 2, planning, preparation, and relationship building. So if you spend all of your time, and I think it's, Abraham Lincoln that said, if you give me 7 days to chop down a cherry tree, I'm going to spend the first 6 days sharpening the axe to make the task of actually sharpening or cutting down the cherry tree that much easier. Now, again, paraphrasing. Don't hold me to it, guys. So, where am I going with all this? What does any of this matter, right? So, if we only have the same amount of time and we're only as productive as we can possibly be, we have to, like Epictetus says, work in, remain in constant harmony with nature. That means our own true self, balance in nature. So everyone's different, right? I love the process I have fallen in love with the process. I love my different businesses. I love to serve clients. So for me, it's not work. So for me, it says, if the end work is in their own ruling principle. And if you read my life plan, raising the tide around me, essentially, is my purpose. Making the people around me the best they can possibly be is my purpose. So if I'm working towards that, then yes, I'm working hard. But then also I'm going to talk about this, guys, right? So time. So I do a lot of things. Because most of what I do is sharpening the saw, right? Working out twice a day, following a nutrition plan, spending time preparing, working on plans, prepping for my opens. I spend more time planning, preparing than I do actually executing. I'm going to give a real world example. I'm in high level negotiations. It is my job to go into sometimes a disaster situation in a business, figure out the solution, figure out a way to find the money to pay for our very, very, very expensive services, and then get the client emotionally committed, logically on track, get my SBC spun up, my tax account, my tax attorney spun up, get all these things moving, right? Most project managers spend 6-7 hours in day one, 4 to 5 hours in day two. Me, 2 days in day one, 3 days in day two. My opens are half the time. So I got to thinking, am I doing something wrong? No. I'm very efficient. I have a process. I have a very specific cadence that I take my clients through. So because I spend so much time planning and preparing, what does that look like in my case? Chris Voss, never split the difference. I spend so much time learning that material, mirroring, labeling, so that I can win in these high-level negotiations. Because again, all of these are six-figure deals that I negotiate every single day. Every single day, 6-figure plus deal. $250,000 in most cases for consulting. Big numbers. Bigger numbers than these clients are used to, and it is typically more than 3 years worth of profits they've seen. Most of them haven't made money yet. So I need to be really good at my craft so that I can execute efficiently. So my days start at 4, typically end at 8 o'clock at night. And if I'm traveling, yes, it's a 22-hour day. Am I working hard? Yes. But that busyness I have made efficient through several things. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, so that I maximize the effectiveness of what I'm doing in my time. The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, single-handedly the biggest game changer that I've gone through. Why? Because I learned to ultra optimize my life. I have a team of assistants that do all this stuff. I get to record this and I put it in my Google Drive, and everything else happens by someone else. I just get to watch them when they're done. That's a lot of time that I just collapsed. It's a lot of time that I collapsed. So I'm working efficiently in the time, still the same clock, but I've used plus multipliers to get there. So, am I in balance with nature? Yes, because this is my true nature. I love doing what I'm doing, so I don't feel like I'm working. I don't need a break from what I do. In fact, Sundays and Mondays are my most excited day, because Sundays I get to go back in the field, and Mondays I get to execute my play. I get to put all this hard work on the field. May 30th, working hard or hardly working. Remember, time management is a myth. You can only manage the tasks that you do in that clock. Same clock, 24 hours, billionaire and the bum get the same clock. What are you going to do? I know with that, I'm going to go have a great day.